So I just finished an autocross event, the Push It to the Limit series in Brampton at the Powerade Center. I just wanted to give you guys an update on how my E46 was on the autocross course and pretty much what I learned from the situation. So if you haven't done any autocross before, it's something that I really recommend. Is coming from track driving, which I've done a lot of, a moderate amount of, I guess, and then going to autocross is a totally different world, right? You're never bored, basically. When you are on a track, there's things called straightaways, which I now refer to as downtime between corners after doing some autocross, because there isn't a time that you're not sawing away at the wheel, trying to figure out where you're going. It's something that you really should do, okay? So it teaches you tons and tons about steering technique, car control, weight transfer, everything. So what I am running today, I have got my 215 section width, actually, G4 Sport Comp 2 tires, which weren't the best, I'll be honest. They're a pretty hard compound. Everyone else was running RE71Rs. By everyone else, I mean most of the people. It took me like 4 runs to actually dial in proper tire pressure. So I ended up running about 35 PSI in the front and the back, and that seemed to be pretty good for those of you who are looking for some numbers for tire pressures. Now, what my setup is currently is I've got my Hotchkiss sway bars in the front on the tightest setting and in the rear on the tightest setting, okay? So I've got everything completely tightened up. The reason I did that was based on my previous experience, to try and balance out the fact that I have Kona yellows right now on the rear of my car only, because if you watch my previous video, I broke a bolt installing them on the front. So I've got stock shocks on the front and I've got my Kona yellows on the rear. The car was actually, once I dialed it in, it was pretty well balanced. I can't really say anything bad about it. The only thing that could be improved was essentially overall grip with a wider set and a stickier set of tires. So I found that this car was surprisingly nimble for, I think it's the sway bars, to be perfectly honest. That's the ability for me to transfer back and forth really quick without a lot of body lean. When I get those coilovers on and I get my Kona yellows in the front, I think this is going to be a pretty formidable car on an autocross course, even though it's a sedan. So I started off, I got like an 84 second time with a couple pylon penalties. You get 2 seconds per pylon, and I found that I really started to just knock off the time just by relaxing a little bit and stop trying to be so frantic. I eventually got under 80 seconds, which was good. That put me not at the bottom of the pack, but up a little bit higher, which was nice to see. My car's in a modified class, I was going to get smoked anyway, but overall, I'm not at the bottom of the pack. I'm in the lower third, which is nice. So I found that, I'll show you the last run that I did.
Time is 78.719 for car number 25.
I found that when I really relaxed and forced myself to drive slowly, I ended up driving faster. Okay, so the old thing they say, slow is fast, is true. My last run felt so dramatic. I was like every single corner I was like, no, slow down, even slower, make sure you set yourself up for the exit correctly. And that paid off. I shaved 4 seconds off my time on my last run, which, that's all it took, right? Just stop trying to be such an idiot and powering through all the time. It's difficult with the quick diff that I have, the 3.46 diff, because first gear runs out incredibly quick, and then second gear was actually very handy. So there's only one section of the course where you have to go from first to second, back to first, and up to second. That was difficult. Trying to heel toe or just like use a little turnaround box, try to go into first gear was actually pretty challenging. But once I figured it out, I was able to do it pretty smoothly. I felt though that if I had like 4 more runs, I could be approaching the point where with a better set of tires I could actually be competitive, which is super fun. I'm going back to do that for sure. If you have not done autocross before, totally recommend it. I'm going to try to make it to the Push It to the Limit, the next event, which I think is in 2 weeks. No promises about that, but I would like to go. If any of you guys are in the area, in the GTA, and you want to come out and hang out, I'd be totally down for that. That'd be super awesome. Your car does not need to have anything fancy. You can have street tires and just come out and have a riot. So I'd love to see some of you guys out there at some point. There's a couple other events, and I'll try and post them on Twitter or on Instagram if I'm going to be doing them. But yeah, I'd love to see some of you guys out here just to get some more E46s, because I was the only E46 Gen BMW there, believe it or not. There was an E36 M3, which was really cool. So I will talk to you guys later. My Coney Yellow install video and the ground control video should hopefully be out in a week or so, depending on when I can get the time to install. Stay tuned for that. All right, I will talk to you guys next time. See you later.